dating straight women. This is just my experience. There are plenty of other guys that date straight women or date bi women or queer women or lesbians. This is not really about that. This is my experience dating straight women. Doesn't mean it's happening with anybody else. Or what I say holds true to anybody else's experiences. It's only my own. So, dating straight women has been quite interesting and not really anything I expected. Kind of shade is driving me nuts. It's just too much. Finally, the connectors are coming down, though, which is funny. But anyways, dating straight women. It's interesting because when they don't know that you're trans, or even, I guess, when they do know later, but it doesn't really register because they didn't know you before, um, they still see you as a man. And it's been very hard for me because with women, I'm very sincere, sensitive, these type of things. And, well, first of all, I get read as gay a lot, which is fine. It doesn't bother me. I'm not homophobic in the least, but I'm not trying to attract men. So, I don't want a woman to necessarily think I'm gay when I'm into her. Well, I don't want a woman to think I'm gay when I'm into her because I'm not gay. I want her. I'm into her. So once we get past the gay thing, which can be challenging, I've had women downright be like, "No, there's no way you're straight." So I'm like, "Okay, fine." But just the things they expect of you. The straight women in my experience have been just mistreated by guys. They've just lost their faith in men at this point. I actually had a girl the other day say, "I'm so glad I met you because you're restoring my faith in men." And I was like, "Well, that's good." So they expect you. They expect you first of all that you're not sincere. Like when you're telling them, when you compliment them or whatever, everything is to get them in bed. And I enjoy sex just as much as another guy, but that's not my only aim with women is to get them in bed. I want to have the full experience. I want to have conversation and go to dinner and watch film and cuddle and have sex. But, not everything has to lead to sex. That's not my ultimate end. Not only sex. Like, I don't only think with my penis. It does happen sometimes, but you know, that's not just my only end. So they're very cautious, first of all, with the sex thing. They're very, they expect you to wrong them. They often interpret what I say or do in the wrong way because um, it's really no fault of their own. It's just the way guys have been with them. They just expect you to be like every other man. Um, with their bodies, they're very self-conscious, especially of their genital area. And Feministing, a great blog, talks about healthy genital self-esteem and how many women don't have healthy genital self-esteem. And in earlier transition, even after chest surgery and stuff, women I had been with were very self-conscious of their genitals, of their appearance, of their scent, of all these things, and just like, I was like, have guys told you, like, that you look different down there, or that, anything, have they ever said anything about the smell, because, how guys talk about whatever, and they're like, yeah, and they were really self-conscious, and I felt really bad, because, a lot of women are very uneasy about that area, and they shouldn't be, but guys are stupid, and get their education from porn, and I know I'm gonna get shit for that, but I have a few specific guys in mind I was thinking of with ex-girlfriends, so whatever. But in general, even in like male psychology, men say like they don't know about the female body other than what they see in porn, and they don't know how to treat women in bed, and they think truly that they can insert their penis and within 30 seconds the woman could come. They don't know anything about female sexuality. So women are always surprised when I know about that and when I can find the clit. But and right away, or the G spot. But just they just expect, just sex is so different with them at first. The uneasiness about, their genitals, whatever. And then, that was before transition. I was just like so hurt for them, just the way they felt about themselves or how they expected guys to be. Because I always thought guys were just supposed to be nice and blah, 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 and gentlemanlike. And then, that's what I wanted to be like when, in this guy that I saw myself to be when I was younger. But then, I come out here and suddenly, like, I start dating these women that are completely, like, the opposite. Like, in terms of how they feel about their bodies, their self-image, their general self-esteem. Like, they're like, no, my vagina's pretty. It's prettier than hers, blah, blah. And they're very, like, confident. And it was very refreshing. And I was just like, wow. And they were like so in control, and but they were also older, like my age and older. So all the women I had dated previously, like in Florida and stuff, were like several years younger. So it's kind of interesting to me because by about 25 or 26, these women aren't just taking any guy that will give them attention. No, they want the guy to come to their standards. And it's really funny, and they're in control at this point because they want like a non-asshole guy. These girls, whatever, they've discovered that nerds are where it's at because nerds are nicer, want to please you, are stable, have money, and then like they're over the whole jock thing. So I kind of am loving it, like being at this stage in my transition in my mid 20s, because the women now are like ready for a trans guy. They're like ready for an emotional guy that will listen to them and talk with them and cuddle with them, and then also have sex with them, but it not be the only thing they do, and it be a very healthy sexual relationship where both parties are mutually satisfied. Because in early transition it was like the girl would just want to do something to me and then go do something to her, and she acted like it was so weird, like whatever, like no, only the boy gets stuff. I don't know, it's just weird to me. But it's just been a challenge because you know they just think you're an asshole, like, or that you're going to be an asshole, or you're potentially going to be an asshole. They misinterpret things, and then the whole self-esteem in bed, like they're not too comfortable experimenting. But the older women have been. It's crazy. They're so much more comfortable with themselves, and I haven't felt that weird penis dysphoria with them because it just like doesn't matter, like that you don't have this huge schlong. They just want a guy that knows how to use it. They want a guy that's comfortable with it, because even guys born with penises have huge penis complexes. I've come to realize just reading masculine psychology. Like, part of being male, any kind of male, trans male or non-trans male, is coming to accept your penis, its size, its limitations, its functions, its appearance. A lot of guys are uncomfortable about it too. So, we're not the only ones that kind of realize. And that's another thing I've realized lately, like just seeing myself in terms just of humans, just the broader spectrum, and not just trans men or whatever, or not just men, just as people, and getting away from the trans identity and, just the trans huge label, and just finding my more niche in the artsy community, and like the artsy queerish whatever. And it doesn't matter that I'm trans, it's just more of an alternative scene, more of an alternative subculture, and being trans just adds to the richness of that. But that's getting kind of off topic, that'll be a whole nother video. But it's just, dating women has been so interesting, and sometimes it's so frustrating because they're not used to such an emotionally available man, such a self-aware man. I think it's kind of overwhelming for them, and they get overwhelmed sometimes. But at the same time, some really respond to it well, and actually the ones that get overwhelmed are younger, and the ones that are my age, mid-20s and older, very much respond to it well. They're ready for an emotionally sensitive, mature man that can talk with them and whatnot. So I don't know, I've just rekindled some friendships, from long ago, and it's cool to come at them now where I am at this stage. And yeah, and I'm a lot more comfortable with myself, clearly, and just, I don't know, dating straight women has just been, it's been a challenge, just the things they expect of you, and they can't really understand or put it together sometimes, that what it's like to be approached by men like that, because I was once a straight girl. So I don't know. So it's kind of cool to be able to share that experience with them, but at the same time, the girl really does not think of it as you sharing experience with her. She just thinks you're just more sensitive or whatnot. But you guys take care, and if you have any opinions or thoughts or whatnot, this is just my own experiences. I mean, any other trans guy has experienced anything like this. But also, one funny thing, I was talking to a friend who is, straight identified and binary identified, but he's cool with queer people. He's like actually in a frat, and we were like laughing about, like, isn't it funny how women are when they don't know you're trans? Like, they might think you're gay, but then they realize, oh wait, you are interested. But then he was like, yeah, he was like, girls say to me all the time, like, you're different. I just can't put my finger on it. And I think that's so funny, and I hear that too, and it's like, oh, you listen, and it's just so funny. So just wondering if any guys ever, were with women and they didn't know, but the women were just, they kind of sensed a different kind of energy, or a different understanding, or just like, you're different, not that you're trans or anything, but it's like, also when women know that you're trans, they don't really think of you as your gender once being female. They just think of you as being this sensitive man that understands that. Women really just see it as, yeah, you're a dude, whatever. So lots of scattered thoughts, but trying to get them in one video or whatever. Okay, you guys take care. Peace.